Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Elbow Nudge Podcast. This is episode 9, and I'm here with my good friend Caroline. Caroline,
Yeah,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's been a good time. We've had some good times this year. I'm really happy.
I agree. Today, we're going to look back at this year, and I would say not only just movies, but our memories that are attached to these movies, because I'm excited to talk about some of these things.
I
So it's
love
not
it.
a movie deep dive. It's going to be a look back at the movies we've seen, and that doesn't even necessarily mean movies that came out this year. And also for our elbow nudge first is going to be some shows as well, and maybe even documentaries.
That's right. This is going to kind of be our Spotify Wrapped kind of episode. We're going to take a little look back at the films and shows that made an impression on us throughout the year of 2021.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. We don't have a rigid structure. We're just going to go for it.
If you're a frequent Elbow Nudge listener, you know we like to jump around. A jump around. So that's probably what we're going to do a little bit.
Oh, yeah, but before we start, let's hear the New Year's resolutions. You want to talk about it?
Right off the bat. Let's hit it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You want to say yours?
Yeah, mine's, every year my New Year's resolution is, by the way, everybody, Happy New Year's. By the time you're hearing this, it will be not New Year's, but this will be the last episode of the year.
This is the last week of the year.
Yeah, this Sunday is the last Sunday of 2021. So telling y'all ahead of time, belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So yeah, my New Year's resolution, it's been the same every year, but I've been making progress. And so I like to have like a number one resolution and then kind of a attached resolution. So something to a continual goal, but then also a little goal on the side. So
Okay.
my continual.
So main quest and side quest.
Exactly. The main quest is still to learn more Spanish. I definitely learned more Spanish this year. I still cannot hold a full conversation, but I can understand it. And I know more words than I did last year, which is always a bonus. It's not about reaching your goal that year, but it's always about moving a little bit more closer to it, which is very important. And then my little side quest is to read more books and continue doing this podcast.
I like that. That's mine too. I never want to miss a week.
Exactly.
But that's not even a resolution for me. I chose one resolution.
Okay.
And I'm kind of scared of it because
Oh no.
yeah. It's not a big deal. It's just the self-criticism that comes with it.
Oh snap.
I want to get back into drawing again because I just dropped it for a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
so
you're so talented too.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's been a long time since I really just sat down with a sketchbook and pencil and just draw. And that's what I want to do. I want to do one drawing a day next year.
I like that.
Well, I'm actually going to start like today because I like starting my resolutions before leading up to the new year. So that's what I'm going to do. But it's scary because all the thoughts that come with it, like, oh, this looks terrible. Like, I hate this. I hate the way I feel right now. It looks so bad. I'm not good at this. All those thoughts come to mind, and I'm going to try to ignore that and try to get one done every day. So
listen, if you need a hype girl, I'm your girl. So any self-criticism, just send me a snippet and I'll hype you up.
Oh, maybe. I'll keep it in mind.
No, you got to go through with it. You got to believe in yourself. Yesterday you said tomorrow. So now just do it. Do it.
I'm doing the hand thing. He does see.
Yeah, me too. Do it.
Don't worry, this isn't on video, so nobody's missing out on that.
We're back to being remote, so I can't see. We can't see the do it, but we feel it. We feel the passion. Do it.
It's okay. No, but yeah, I am gonna do it. No matter how many days in a row I feel like it's coming out ugly. But I was just saying, I don't know if I'm gonna be showing you any of these because
come on,
we'll see. No,
your drawings are so cute. Every time I see them, whether it's like on Jackbox or in like Telestrations, they're so cute. I mean, who can top your magnum opus of Shrek doing something
That was a
specific?
magnum opus.
That was your magnum opus for
Oh,
me.
okay. All right. All right.
That and of course, our beautiful elbow nudge artwork that we
Oh yeah.
have. That is probably your magnum opus, really, but I'm a little
Shout out
biased.
to Inkscape. I love using that program. If you guys haven't used it, Inkscape is what's it called? No,
Open
what's it?
source.
Yeah, open source,
Uh-huh.
free, beautiful. I love using Inkscape.
Hopefully, we get an Inkscape sponsorship soon. If
Yeah,
you're
we're not
listening,
sponsored by anybody. I'm just showing love to Inkscape.
he's just putting that out there for any person who wants a free art software.
Anybody interested in art or getting good at digital art, use
Getting
Inkscape.
good.
It's vector art. So yeah. But yeah, let's move on to what we were watching this past year. What did
Oh
we
yeah.
enjoy? What did we not like very much?
You know, Tony, a lot of movies came out this year,
Yeah.
despite this being a COVID world.
Yeah.
Some might say a post-COVID world, but still a COVID world.
Yeah, you'd think we'd be out of it by now, but
Any, but a lot of movies came out this year. Some to theaters, some to streaming services, and we watched a lot. We watched a lot of movies.
you think you saw a lot of new releases?
I was going through like, thanks to our good old friend Wikipedia, they had like 2021 in film, and I was just kind of going through the list and writing down films that I definitely saw.
Okay.
I didn't watch all of them, obviously, because I think that would be near impossible, but I definitely watched a good chunk of new releases.
So let's start it off. What's one of the 2021 releases that you've seen?
So I'm gonna do kind of some quickies, and then I'll stop at one that I really liked, and then I want to end it with my number one movie because I do have a number one movie that came out this year. But I saw Black Widow, Mortal Kombat,
Forgot about
Cruella,
Black Widow. Wow. Okay.
yeah, In the Heights, Space Jam, and the movie I'm going to stop at and explain a little bit is Jungle Cruise. I really liked it. That is The Rock, Emily Blunt, Jack Whitehall, who is a comedian. And that movie, I did not go in thinking I was going to like it. It just kind of looked like, for me, The Rock is such a write-off actor, just in the sense of like, I see him in a movie and I'm immediately like, oh, okay, this is going to be a turn your brain off action flick. Whatever. Like I saw
Yes, that's exactly what I
Skyscraper.
think.
Yeah, like I saw Skyscraper. I think there's another one, but like my brother saw Rampage or whatever, and
Every Fast and Furious he's in, or like Fast and Furious in general.
I haven't seen Fast and Furious because there's just so many, but yeah, like he is just kind of that actor that, okay, let's put him in here. Like let's put him in this action film and turn your brain off and just enjoy this explosions, blah. But no, in Jungle Cruise, it's a cute family friendly flick. It's based off of the ride, so it's got that Disney attached feeling of like pirates and things like that, and it feels a little along the same spirit of Pirates of the Caribbean. Not like Pirates of the Caribbean is like an epic. I don't want to like put it
That's
up at
on its
that
own
level.
level.
Yeah.
Its
That's
own
like on
level,
its
yeah.
own just amazing level. But Jungle Cruise was definitely enjoyable. It had good music. Like the soundtrack was really good. I felt just tuned into the whole movie. I never got bored. I never looked away. It's got, by the way, I don't know if this is a pro or a con of myself, but I am a sucker for puns, and there is some punny humor in this movie, and that just won me
All
over.
delivered by The Rock.
All delivered by The Rock. And you know what? I'm a pretty giggly person, but I was able to like laugh out loud watching this film in my home, because I think a lot of times when you watch a movie kind of at your house, you're a little bit more subdued. I don't know. But like, or even like when you watch something
Yeah, if I'm
by
watching it by
yourself.
myself, yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be laughing.
yeah. When like I was watching it, I watched it with like my parents first, but even then, I was like laughing out loud at some of the jokes said, and I was like, "Oh, I know it's kind of corny, but I thought it was really funny." So yeah, that was a movie I wanted to highlight. Was
How
Jungle
was Emily
Cruise.
Blunt? Because I love Emily Blunt.
I love her. She's really cute in this movie. Just like she's this go-getter. She's an archaeologist, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to get to this like forbidden fruit. I think that's what it is. And she does like all of these really nifty, I don't know what the term is, but like she has this cane and she can make like this thing come to her cane and like she's really shifty. And it's just, she's almost like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but she's really neat. She has this safari outfit. She has her
Indiana
own,
Jones.
she can, yeah. It's like she can kind of hold her own. And she's kind of like, she's not that trope of like gaslight gatekeep girl boss, but she definitely has girl boss energy and I love it. I love to
I
see
can
it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it. So she is impeccable in this film. And also, you know, I am not the first inclined to think, because there is a little bit of romance in this film, and Emily Blunt and The Rock at face value is kind of, but this movie makes it work. They are adorable. They are absolutely adorable. I was shipping it the whole film.
I plan on watching this movie, but before watching it, I find that hard to believe. But we'll see once I watch it.
It's good. Trust me. It's really good.
Okay. I am interested. But you saw it even before it came to Disney Plus, right? Didn't you watch it?
I paid for it. Well, because it was on
Yeah.
Disney Plus, like in theaters and with
Premiere
Premiere
access.
Access. I paid for the Premiere Access. So I saw it before it was like generally released.
Yeah, why were you so interested in it?
You know, partially it was because my dad just wanted to watch a movie and he was like, pick an action movie. And I was like, well, Jungle Cruise just came out today. And he was like, sure, buy it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was like the latest thing that was out.
It had just come out the day he said it. And we were like, because he loves Skyscraper. He loves that movie. And
Big The Rock fan in the house.
he's a big action fan. Anything with action in it, and he's all in. And so when The Rock is in it, and I had already seen the trailer, and my mom saw the trailer like on TV or something, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that movie looks really cute. Like, let's watch it." So I was like, "Okay, do y'all mind like paying the $30 to watch it?" And they're like, "Yeah, you know, like we don't mind. Just pay. Like, let's watch it." So we watched it, and we enjoyed it so much that I think the next day when we were eating breakfast, we were like, "Let's put it on again."
Yeah, now I forget how that works out, but I think you guys just own it unless Disney Plus just disappears one day and Disney goes bankrupt.
Yeah, that
So
is kind of the scary aspect of it, but it is kind of like a movie ticket. That was the whole point of that
yeah,
Premiere Access was
yeah,
like,
that's
hey,
exactly what it is.
this is your movie ticket. So rather than going to the theaters and watching it, you could watch it from home and you pay this one-time fee of $30. So, you know, even if Disney Plus eventually goes away, that was the purpose of paying for that. It was like a movie ticket. And
Now,
we
I
got
want
to
to
watch it
transition
again.
off of that.
Uh-huh.
Related, but I feel like we should make this a category right here.
Okay.
Now, and you already mentioned it, but Black Widow, I paid for the Premiere Access of that too.
Oh, me too.
And I feel like we should just, there was a lot of Marvel movies, Marvel stuff this year. I think we gotta throw it in there, whatever we've seen in this little segment. So with Black Widow, you know, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals, those are the 3 movies that came out this year, along with the shows. And we could talk about that a little bit too. But we only paid for Premiere Access for Black Widow. Still haven't seen Eternals, and Shang-Chi, we waited for the 45-day time period for it to show up on Disney Plus.
Yep.
But Black Widow, I thought, fine action movie. Nothing more, nothing less. It was okay.
I have some complaints about Black Widow, just in particular about the action choreography. You know, if you have a character who doesn't have these extreme superpowers, I think that you should go out of your way to make sure that the action choreography is on point. And the editing of this film really messed that up. It's a combination of the editing and the action choreography. There was one fight scene where I think she's fighting Taskmaster on the bridge, and she put Taskmaster in a headlock. And just in that scene of that transition of her putting Taskmaster in a headlock, there was like 5 cuts. So the camera didn't hold on the fight. It like cut to one and then cut to another. And that really threw me out of it. And there's like other things, because I know there are people who were like sticklers about the comic, and I don't want to like, we're not going to go deep into it, but like what they did to Taskmaster and stuff like that and who Taskmaster is. I know there were some complaints about that, and I'm okay with movies changing it. You know, this has been going on since Iron Man 1, where they don't stick faithfully to the comics. They'll change it as per the film, like as their want. And I'm okay with that. My only real criticisms was how they handled the fights because I feel like there wasn't enough fight scenes for this kind of film. And if they're going to do it, they should have at least made it like a more of a cool spy flick. But it felt like they just got Black Widow and put her in the Marvel formula and then didn't do anything interesting with her. And this could have been like a fun spy film with really fun action choreography, but that was my only real complaint was how they handled because the story itself is really cool. I like the story and the premise. I just wish it was executed a little bit in a more unique way.
Everyone wanted the Winter Soldier movie, but for Black Widow. Just the same Winter Soldier formula, but for Black Widow. And I think that was a great idea too, because she would be fighting kind of like Cap, except again, no superpowers. So yeah, like you said, it could be a spy thriller, or it could be kind of like a Mission Impossible or something. It could have action, but just on her level, you know. And I thought the action was, I've said it before, Fast and Furious. It was just like very Fast and Furious to me, especially the ending. So yeah, and I agree with that too. I usually don't bring it up anymore because that's pretty much how modern action movies are. The fights aren't really shot all that well. They cut away a lot to give you a false sense of fast paced action, and impact. And what it really does is take away from it. You know, you notice when they're trying to hide their weaknesses in the choreography. But Shang-Chi does it a little better. They really hold on their shots. The fighting looked a lot better in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were heavily inspired by those kung fu movies and like Jackie Chan choreographed fight scenes. Like you could tell. I remember when I watched that video you recommended about how Jackie Chan does his fight scenes where they like use the props and stuff, and Shang-Chi does that, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was that video essay by Every Frame a Painting.
Yeah.
I want you guys to check it out if you haven't seen it. It's great. That channel doesn't do video essays anymore, but the ones that they did do is very well done. And that one is called something along the lines of like Jackie Chan, how he does action and comedy.
I think, yeah, it's like the art of fighting and comedy or something. But yeah.
And it just shows how much effort he puts into his choreography and how well he works with his stuntmen and how much time he's willing to invest into making a fight scene. Yeah, in the action. Like he would do a take like 100 times just to make it exactly right.
And it pays off.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. Like all the clips you see in the video, it looks like, honestly, it looks like art. It's just like, wow, this is perfect. It's beautiful. But yeah, Shang-Chi had a little bit of that. You know, they did some cutaways and stuff, but for the most part, it looked really good. The fighting was really good.
My only issue with Shang-Chi is his outfit. They got my boy out here saving the world in Vans and jeans and a red t-shirt from Hollister. At least that's what it looks like.
His top half.
He just showed up like half dressed. Like they were like, quick, Simu, because that's his actor name. They're like, Simu, we're gonna start. And he's like, hey, he was in the dressing room and just ran out. They were like, all right, you're ready, let's go. This guy should have had tassels. He should have had armor. You know, like he's the first Chinese superhero for the MCU, and they got him dressing like he's ready to go clubbing or whatever. Not even clubbing, like he's ready to go to Old Navy to buy more Old Navy clothes. It's just like, come on, man.
Are you dissing my Old Navy?
I'm not dissing. I'm just saying you wouldn't wear Old Navy if you were saving the world.
That Old Navy quality is something I would want to wear if I was saving the world.
Not if you're... No, you wouldn't. You want like protection. You want to look cool. Nah, that Old Navy look won't cut it all the time.
I honestly didn't catch that until you brought it up after the movie. I thought it looked fine. Maybe on a rewatch, I'll notice it. Like, oh yeah, he looks like he just bought this outfit. But no, what bothered me is all the Marvel stuff that got involved in it. It could have been such a cool kung fu flick, but then it gets very Marvel, and
yeah,
that's fine. It's fine, but
this story is very compelling, though. I think this is the first MCU film where I genuinely felt for the villain. Like they had that scene where he was remembering his wife. I shed a tear because he was such a compelling villain to me. I was fully invested.
I would have wanted more time with that, actually.
Yeah. If I thought about
I
it
feel
more,
like it was a
I want
Marvel-esque way of doing that. Like they
that.
didn't really delve deep. They
I
didn't pull out my
know.
heartstrings with it.
My thing is that I hate the bait and switch at the end. I mean, are we gonna spoil it? Can I spoil Shang-Chi for people who haven't seen it?
Guys, we're gonna spoil Shang-Chi for a little
Guys,
bit.
yeah.
Tune back
Co-
in
Come,
1 minute.
yeah, exactly 1 minute. Okay, I have 60 seconds. I hate the
Yeah.
fact that he wasn't the real main villain. I hate the fact that we had this like, oh, the real villain is this like dragon who's the darkness and we're here to protect the world from him and blah blah blah. No, like it would have been so emotionally investing if he was the main villain the whole time. And it's like this real, and then not only that, but then we don't even get that like this movie suffers from its this third act phase because we see Shang-Chi learning like his mother's fighting style, but he didn't earn it. It was just his aunt that was like, oh, open your hands. And that's it. I was like, where's the emotional connection? He's been taught for like 20 years how to fight like his father. And then 2 seconds, they're like, open your palms. And that's it. He's fighting like his mom. Where it's just, that was like one of my pet peeves. And then of course the second one is that he and the dad have this really awesome fight scene at the end, but it still feels very CG. Like they led into this movie with all of these awesome fight scenes that are using practical effects and actual, Asian choreography styles, but then at the very end they go back to this like Black Panther style final fight where it's like I can tell they're not there. Okay, I think my time is up.
I don't know if you made it within a minute, but that was a good recap of that.
I had to I had to get all that like off my chest. I word vomited.
I'll say I wasn't as invested. Like I agree with everything you said. It just didn't let me down because I wasn't invested from the beginning. I feel like all of these could have been very great moments, but it just wasn't really. It wasn't really like we didn't sit with it long enough. That's what I'm missing from Marvel movies now. I feel like we're not getting the emotion that I want because it's kind of just given to you at a surface level. And the part, I'm going to keep it vague now because we're way past that spoiler minute. But the part near the end where the father, how do I keep it vague? Well, it's supposed to be like a big moment of, I'm doing this for you or whatever. I didn't feel that because I feel like there wasn't enough build up to that.
Yep.
There wasn't enough build up. And I could say that for the whole, like every
100%.
emotional beat is like, not enough build up for me. I feel like they could have really taken their time. Go visit my sister not too long ago. They had Shang-Chi on playing. I'm like, oh, you guys are watching it again. And she's like, we've been watching it every day. Every day since we saw it. And it's been like weeks. So when my nephew really loves a movie, he would make my sister play over and over and over. He did this with the first Avengers. He did this with the second Avengers. Like if he likes a Marvel movie, he'll make her play it every day. And for that reason, it really does work. And then I'm thinking about the final fight, and there's a lot of moments where if I was a kid, I would think that is so cool, and I wish I was Shang-Chi. Like this is awesome and mind-blowing. So from that perspective, mission accomplished. And also one more thing that I thought was funny.
Agreed.
There's an Alexa at my sister's house. So my nephew knows how to use it. And he would ask Alexa for stuff. And he was saying, and I didn't catch it yet, but he was saying like, Alexa, play Hotel California. And then it would play it. I'm like, how does he know that song? Why is he playing that song? That's the song at the end of Shang-Chi where they're doing karaoke.
Yep.
Yeah, so he loves that song now. And he did the same thing for Homecoming with do you remember the song in Homecoming at the end?
Isn't it that hey, huh?
Yeah, that's the song that he was playing a lot. Yeah. But he loves those now.
That's so Hotel California though is so cute.
Yeah. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, I was looking at it a little harsh. These movies are for kids. I saw it when I was a kid, and they're good. They get the job done. So.
Okay, I will release my word vomit into the ether. And yeah, it is really good for kids.
For kids.
That's my parenthetical citation for kids.
So moving along a little bit, we haven't seen Eternals, right? I don't know if you've seen it.
Nope.
So sorry, no Eternals talk.
And no Spider-Man. I am watching that in 2 days from the time of this recording it.
And 2 days really? Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm watching it in 2 days.
Hey.
Yeah. We'll see if
So
we do something about that. I'm not sure.
yeah,
But
we'll see. We'll see how Tony feels about this movie because he has a complicated history with the MCU Spider-Man, which we
yeah.
will cover in detail if we cover this movie.
But also, we got a lot of Marvel shows. The shows kicked
Oh
off
yeah.
phase 4 of MCU. So
Oh yeah.
WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and Hawkeye have all
A,
come out this year.
a lot of shows.
Yeah.
I think my number one out of all of them is WandaVision.
WandaVision by far is my number one, very easily. I don't even have to think about it. It's yeah, my favorite thing that came out from the MCU this year. It was very good.
Loki was my surprise. I didn't think I was gonna be as big a fan. That's the thing too. I have never been like the big Loki fangirl. For the MCU fangirls, I think it's always like fair to divide them
Ladies, listen up.
and to
Loki ladies,
divide
listen up.
them into kind of two categories. Because like, let's don't get me wrong, everybody loves Captain America. He's the hottest thing since sliced bread. But like, you fall into two categories of the guys you like. You're either a Thor girl or you're a Loki girl. You like the Boy Scout kind of guys, or you like the more bad boyish. And I definitely fell
Nobody's a Tony
into.
Stark girl.
Oh, you're talking to the Tony Stark girl, excuse you, but I'm just saying, like, there's two
You
categories.
only gave 2 options.
There's categories. It's
Okay.
a category. It's a category effect. And I was definitely like, when you're if you're a lady watching Thor, like the first movie, you're either gonna swoon for Thor or you're gonna swoon for Loki. You're gonna be that kind of person. And I was more of a Thor girl. My number one boo is Tony Stark, but
I didn't think we'd be talking about this when we started this podcast. But go on.
But the Loki show made me swoon for Loki. I went in kind of like, all right, let's watch it. It's got Owen Wilson. I like Owen Wilson. Wow. But I was really pleasantly surprised by. Oh, I wish I wasn't talking when you said that. I want a clean snippet of that.
Wow.
There we go. And I was pleasantly surprised by the show Loki. It was a very close, like I was, after watching Loki and finishing it, I was like, man, that was good. And for a second I thought maybe it's better than WandaVision, but then I rewatched WandaVision and I was like, no, WandaVision is definitely number one. But
Wait, did you rewatch it?
I did. I rewatched
cool.
some of my favorite episodes and I rewatched the last 2 and wow, so good. And but yeah, Loki is still a great show. Still amazing. I'm so glad that they did something different and it worked, and it's just the show format worked so well for things like WandaVision and Loki. Like that. It was so good to have it as episode, like based on episode than like a full film, because imagine like all the things that would have been cut out or not explored enough, and then you would have lost out on like WandaVision used it to its greatest advantage by going by these decades, like these types of shows, and you would look forward to every episode because it was like, oh, what format are they going to use now and things like that. Whereas Loki had this kind of mind hunter-esque format that kept you like, wait, no, what's next? Jogo. Like every time I'd see the title, like the trailer or not the trailer card, the end credits, I was like, no. But both shows just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Loki had an uphill battle for me because I'm not a fan of Loki's character after he's died so many times in the MCU and he still comes back. But this show is my second favorite somehow. It really is good. I have big complaints about it, but still not enough to make me think it's a bad show. I still think it's a great show. But yeah, I've spoken to you about it. And it's just that I feel like it needed more time. The themes that they were showing and the things that they introduced and the people they introduced, I feel like they just came and went really quickly. And I would have loved for it to just take its time. They even confirmed the season 2. So if they knew they had a season 2 in mind, they could have really slowed down and showed a lot of cool things in season 1 and save other things for season 2. And I'm going to keep it vague again. The TVA, it's not a spoiler, the TVA is something you learn about. The Time Variance Authority, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
For all
they
time.
always they introduced this in Loki, and I just wanted to learn a lot more about them. And they do something else in the show, blah blah blah. They introduce another character in the show. I'm not gonna name the name, but I wanted to spend more time with that character, and you kind of don't. But yeah, that's what bothered me about it. That's what bothered me about it. I feel like this was another show that could have used more build up and time to breathe.
It's a little ironic that a show about time feels a little bit fast paced.
Rushed. Yeah. Yes. WandaVision, I think, did it perfectly. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the
Oh,
people who
yeah.
didn't like it, they kind of complained about that it took too long or whatever. But no, I think it was great. I was invested every episode. It was
Cut to me
awesome.
holding a little revolver. Who didn't like WandaVision? What? 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 What?
No, I loved it. I loved it. And this is the one I thought I was going to like the least.
Yeah,
Well, no,
that's
Loki.
right.
No, Loki.
I don't know. You gave me quite a lot of smack when I was talking about how excited I was for WandaVision, mister.
I didn't ship them until Infinity War, and I thought the name was dumb. WandaVision. What? Not Wanda and the Vision? Or Wanda or Vision and the Scarlet Witch? But no, WandaVision makes sense now, and I like it now.
Do you people see what I gotta put up with you? This kind of thought
show.
that I have to do.
I recommend it to everyone if you haven't seen it.
It's great.
Show.
It's really good.
But that one I could talk about for a while, but I don't want to spend too much on it. But I'm just thinking of all the cool moments in that show.
We do have to do like an episode just to deep dive into WandaVision.
We should, yeah. We're going to start shows now. We're going to start shows.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Do you have much to say about
that? No, I don't. It's... I mean, I just spent like a good 30 seconds word vomiting about Shang-Chi. All of my negative energy has been purged. So I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about stuff I didn't really like when we can move on to our highlights again.
Okay. Well, and then quickly, we didn't see What If yet. We're going to see it. And
we are going to see it.
I saw 2 episodes of Hawkeye.
Yeah,
I'll finish it, but
the season finale came out recently.
Yeah,
I haven't watched any of it, so I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Just at least for my girl Haley Steinfeld.
But yeah, I think that's it for Marvel.
For the MCU of 2021?
Yeah. Outside the fact that I've also watched Infinity War again this year, but that's just because I love Infinity War.
You watch Infinity War any chance you get.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say much about that. It's my favorite MCU movie. But yeah, is there another movie you want to throw into the conversation, Caroline?
Okay, so back into my year 2021 films that I watched. I watched The Suicide Squad. I watched My Little Pony.
I forgot about that.
No. Are you talking about My Little Pony or Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad. I forgot about Suicide Squad, yeah.
2 very different movies. But yeah, I saw Suicide Squad.
You did a double feature in one night? My Little Pony and Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad was so different than what I'm used to that I had to watch My Little Pony to get me back. I had to cleanse myself with MLP.
Oh, is that what the fan club calls it?
I just outed myself. No.
Oh, no. You're an MLPer?
I'm not. I promise.
But you just admitted it. You know how to...
I know the acronyms.
Yeah, you know the acronyms.
I used to watch Friendship is Magic when I took care of like the little girls at church and stuff. I would put it on for them.
You told me you used to do this last month.
No, I didn't.
So how was MLP?
MLP is really good. Any listeners out there with little kids, specifically little girls, MLP, My Little Pony, A New Generation on Netflix is adorable. I love all the music. By the way, the main character is voiced by Vanessa Hudgens, and she sings the songs, and it's so good. Like,
I like Vanessa. I might have to watch it.
Yeah, you put it on for your niece. It's like so cute.
Oh, that's a good excuse. Like, all right, guys, I saw MLP, but it's for my niece. So
exactly. Yeah. It's hands down. I think every little girl should watch this film. It's so cute. It's about friendship. It's about
Magic.
it's about looking past your differences. And then the music is adorable. Like, I was listening to the soundtrack while cooking after watching it. I was like, yeah, it was just, it's so good. I rewatched it after I watched it the first time. And I have a soft spot for animated films. I think anybody who knows me knows I love animated movies just in general, whether it be directly for kids or for like animated movies for all ages or like anime and things like that. I love animation. And this movie was just a breath of fresh air. It's so cute. There's really like nothing negative about this film because it's for kids. Like, you can just write it off for that as well. But it's just an enjoyable flick. It's really funny. And if you're feeling in kind of like a silly mood or just something that you want to like, yeah, I'll check it out. Like, My Little Pony is pretty good.
What made you want to start watching it? Is it because you're an MLPer or do you just saw it randomly?
No, I saw the trailer while I was scrolling through Twitter and it auto played and I liked the music in the trailer. It's really good.
Those things work.
It works.
Advertisement works.
There's a reason it's done. It works.
All right. And what about Suicide Squad? Unless you had more to say about My Little Pony.
No, My Little Pony is done. I don't want to stick on it. But I don't know. Suicide Squad, I didn't want to get negative. It's a good movie. It's very entertaining, but it was not my type of film. I did not go back and rewatch it. Some of the stuff in the film made me laugh, but I'm just not a fan of the type of movie that it was. I think also I'm just not like a huge rated R in the sense that this was rated R kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just not a fan of like that style of film where it's just like action and things like that, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. I think it was a good movie, but I wasn't blown away by it. I wasn't like cheering for it and telling people, "Oh, have you seen it?" But it's definitely a good movie. Absolutely better than the first one.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And I'm a big fan of James Gunn. I think he did a great job with it. I think the Guardians movies are still better, but
absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to watch either way. But that's about it. I didn't think it was anything, I didn't think about it again after I've seen it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I had a good time watching it. That's about it.
Let's see. After Suicide Squad, it was Dune, and we did a whole episode about Dune. So if you want to go back and listen to our thoughts and our opinions about Dune, you can go to episode 1 of Elbow Nudge. But that was a movie that we saw this year. Was Dune.
Can I jump off of that real quick?
Absolutely.
I haven't been to the theaters since 2020 pretty much. And the 2 movies I've seen this year in theaters, one was Dune. I saw it in IMAX, and that was cool. And then the second one was Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Oh boy, was that a letdown. But I knew what was coming because I did not like the first Venom either. I'm not going to say any much more than that. I just do not like those movies.
I haven't seen either, but I really want to see them. I'm a big fan of Venom.
Yeah, let me know if you enjoy it. I know you want to see it with the idea in mind, like, oh, it's like a so bad it's good or cheesy and fun kind of movie.
That's my that's my intention going in.
I just didn't find it that way. I can't even think. I don't even see them as fun movies. It was just, I can't wait for the credits to roll. But yeah.
When I watch it, I'll give y'all an update over what I thought of it. So after Dune, it was No Time to Die, the new James Bond film.
Oh, you saw that?
I did. Oh, and nice. It was so cool because they had like it's in theaters right now, but then like the week after it came out, you could pay to stream it. So it was like a screen at home thing that I don't know what studio distributed No Time to Die, but I think so. I'm not
guessing,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but they were like, you know what? It came out this week. The next week, we're going to let you stream it at home, but you have to pay for it. And you could only rent it. And it was a pretty hefty price. I think we paid like $20 just to rent it for 48 hours. And that was a really good film. Like, if you want to watch a genuine film. This is not a for kids. This is not a MCU-ified film. I think if you want to watch a genuinely good film this year, that is No Time to Die. That was a really good movie. And it's the last movie for Daniel Craig as James Bond. I don't remember everything that happened in Daniel Craig's venture as James Bond. I think I only watched Skyfall, Spectre, and then this one, No Time to Die. But like my parents who have watched all the James Bond films, they're huge James Bond fans. They loved it. And even me, like I said, I'm going in with kind of this half knowledge, only watching the 2 previous films. I was still able to understand everything. Like I was still able to remember certain characters from the previous films and things like that. And it was a really good movie. It has great action and it's smart action too. So, cause it's that James Bond action. It's that spy flick. It's got the good music. It's got a lot of heart in it too that I wasn't expecting. Rami Malek is in this movie and wow, I love him. I love Rami Malek in anything that he's in. And this one was just a really good movie. It's one of my highlights of this year.
I heard good things about it. What sucks for me is that I didn't really keep up with the Craig era of Bond movies. I didn't see Casino Royale. I saw Skyfall and I thought it was good. I can't remember most of it now because it was so long ago. And I think I saw a little bit of Spectre and that's it. And I'm pretty sure he's done like, what, 5 movies?
Yeah,
for the Bond
it's
franchise?
Casino Royale, Quantum Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and then No Time to Die.
Yeah, so I missed a lot of his run.
Skyfall has like the best song. It's done by Adele, and I still like hum it every now and then.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like let the sky fall. But Spectre is wow. Spectre is a wow film. I love Spectre.
You
And
do?
then
Okay, I heard like mixed reviews about that.
well, they're wrong. Spectre is
Okay.
really good. I
Yeah,
like
we
Spectre.
already learned that Rotten Tomatoes is wrong.
They're wrong.
People
Just
online are
damn.
wrong.
I love Spectre. I've rewatched it a couple of times already. And the opening scene for Spectre is just wow. But we're not talking about Spectre. No Time to Die is really good. I love No Time to Die.
I forgot that came out this year. So that was a good pick.
Yeah, I think it's like because Jungle Cruise, I have like 5 movies that are on my top 5 for the year. Jungle Cruise is
Yeah.
number 5. No Time to Die, this is going out of order, but No Time to Die is definitely like number 2.
Okay. I remember liking Skyfall a lot. So if it's like that, I think I'll check it out.
Oh yeah. We need to do like a James Bond marathon. At least the Craig
starting
verse.
from the very beginning. Oh, the Craig verse?
No, the Craig verse. I mean, I've seen the old James Bond films because, my parents, huge James Bond fans. So I've seen them, but I think we can limit it to the Craig verse.
Would you say Craig is your Bond?
No, well, I was going to say no.
I'm not
but
saying
then,
looks or fangirling. I'm saying like who do you relate to as your era of Bond?
when it comes to looks, I love Pierce Bronson as James Bond. He's
I
just
was gonna
got
say
that
him
whole,
too. I think he's
yeah,
my Bond.
he's
And I
got
see him
that
as James
whole,
Bond.
exactly. I see him and I'm like, that's James Bond. I
That's
think
James Bond.
Pierce
Mhm.
Bronson has got it nailed. Like he has the whole look and demeanor of James Bond.
Yep.
But I've seen all the Craig movies, so it's a little give and take.
I haven't. Well, I guess I'm just not that attached to the Bond movies. I think they're good, but I just don't keep up with them. Well, I'll give it a shot. If we do the Craig verse,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So yeah, after No Time to Die, I watched we can glance over this. I'm just gonna say it and then we'll move on.
Let's see if it's a movie.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
All right, what was next?
Then it comes on to like the documentaries, and I watched
okay.
2 really good documentaries this year. One is Crime Scene, the vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, which is about the case of Elisa Lamb and how she went missing at the Cecil Hotel. And it takes the perspective not only of like, because there's been a lot of stuff, if you're like a true crime fan like I am, there's been a lot of stuff surrounding the Cecil Hotel. And this documentary actually goes in and shows you the current day Cecil Hotel and the like general manager of the hotel and the staff. And they talk about all of the famous cases that have been linked to this hotel. And then they go into detail about the Alyssa Lamb case. And it's just Super interesting. But my number one documentary this year, and this is number, I want to say 3 on my top 5 things that I watched this year, and it came out this year, is This Is a Robbery, the documentary.
This is a robbery. I remember saying that too.
This is a robbery. And it's about the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. And it is a heist that took place in 1990 in Boston. And it's about the Gardner Museum, and it had so many like paintings stolen, and I think it garnered up to like $100 million worth of art that was stolen. One of the big ones being this seascape where it's like the Sea of Galilee art, and it's just the whole. I feel like a lot of these documentaries are getting really smart with how they present and edit their cases and evidence and things like that. This one is done so entertainingly. It's not just some guy being like, the detectives came in through the back door and then they did this and that. Like, it's not like they have a very they have like the person who ran the museum, what's her name, like the director or the curator of the museum, and she's giving this like step by step over, and like they're showing how the guards are placed, and they do like a little reenactment, and then they interview the guards, and it's done
Yeah, I
so
was also
well.
gonna say in general, this is a Netflix documentary, and they've just been like
They've
for a
elevated.
while now. They're very stylish, they're very entertaining, very high quality. So
Oh yeah. They
yeah,
have elevated what a documentary is. I think they have made the documentary cool because
we
for
still
a
gotta finish
while,
that Xbox one, by the way. But yeah, go on.
yeah, we do. But yeah, this is just a high quality documentary. If you're a true crime fan, highly suggest checking out This Is a Robbery on Netflix. It's amazing.
I saw this one as well. I thought it was great. And can you spoil a documentary or what? What do you think about that?
That's a great question. I mean, it is a historical, it happened. Like, it's a thing
Yeah,
that happened. And I feel like, the news is out there and it just mostly covers the ins and outs. So I think you can spoil.
I'm gonna say the very end because yeah, this isn't a movie. I think the interesting part is figuring out or like finding out how it was taken and all this and like the journey leading up to it. But I'm just gonna say the very end, something I want to mention. So these paintings, they're still missing.
Yep.
And my theory, and just I can't think of anything else. I just think they're gone. They're just destroyed. They're still trying to look for it, and they're offering cash reward. But yeah, I think they don't exist anymore. That's my theory.
My theory is that they are in the basement of some drug lord, or they are, well, like a drug lord or a mafia boss who's waiting to use them as a bargaining chip.
It could be, but after all this time, what's it been now?
1990 to 2021.
Oh, from the 90s? Oh yeah, dang. Over 2 decades?
31 years.
Over 3 decades?
Yep.
I think they're gone.
No.
I think it would have came up by now.
No. But yeah.
Is there any other documentaries you saw? Because I have some.
Oh, and these are the ones that came out this year. I mean, I also watched I watched a lot that did not come out this year. There's like Made You Look. That's another art. It's more of an art fraud documentary. That one is one of my favorites today. And what's the other one? The Night Stalker. That one is like, whoo.
I didn't finish that one when I was looking at my list. Or
and that's
my
a shame because
history.
the last episode is the best episode.
I could go back to it. I was on. There's only 3 episodes. I think I was on 2, and I got more than halfway through with that one.
Donnie. Yeah. The last episode is the best episode.
I forgot what I was doing during that time, but I know I was really tired, and I was watching it on the couch. But anyway.
Is that around the time you were at the
At the what?
At the old job.
At the job that shall not be spoken?
Exactly.
Yeah, probably. No, because I wasn't working there this year.
I thought you were.
No, that was last year. But anyway, I'll see if I finish that up.
Okay, so what were your documentaries?
The first one I'll bring up because it's more like light. The Last Blockbuster, that's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that one or no?
No, it's still on my watch list.
Oh, okay.
Oh
So
wait, I think I did watch like the first 20 minutes of it because I do remember how they talked about like Netflix and the Netflix involvement of Blockbuster
yeah, it's very funny how Netflix has this documentary
on yeah, about the
about
last
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. It's
Yeah.
a little insult to injury.
So this one isn't, mind blowing or very informative, but it's a walk down memory lane, and it's kind of nostalgic for everyone who got to live in that era of walking into a Blockbuster and walking down aisles of movies and seeing a recommendation page, but in a physical world. So you're just walking past a whole bunch of cases of movies, and you're planning out your weekend, and you can grab your popcorn and chocolate and whatever you want. And it was really nice to relive that. And yeah, the last Blockbuster is literally about, at this time, there's still one Blockbuster remaining. Everything else has shut down. And I think it's in Oregon right now.
We
Yeah,
need
the
to make a
last,
trip to
yeah,
Oregon.
I would do it. Yeah, that's definitely some like a picture I would want to take there at the last
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
I was always a Hollywood video kind of gal, but that
Boo. No, I'm kidding.
excuse
I'm
you.
kidding. I've been there too.
But yeah, like I do miss that. Even like the way you were describing it right now, that whole experience of walking down that aisle of new released and picking out your movies. And then I remember they used to sell candy where you would check out your films. And so my mom would get like a Milk Duds and I would get these M&Ms and Dave would get like Sour Patch Kids. And we were like, all right, tonight we're watching a movie. And it was so like exciting. That was like the highlight of our week was going to Hollywood Video and picking out our movies.
Now, as you know, I live in the digital future.
Yes, you do.
I love all digital stuff.
Yes, you
Anything
do.
that could be digital, I'll take it over anything physical.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do miss about Blockbuster is not holding the cases or looking at the cases or whatever, but Blockbuster did make it seem like more eventful when you're gonna have a movie night. You go there
Yeah.
with it in mind, like we're having a movie night tonight. We're driving to a Blockbuster and we're picking out a movie that we're gonna watch, as opposed to just loading up Netflix and it's like, what do you guys want to watch? Let's look for something. Let's just throw this on. It's like
I think the
it just
closest
happens.
feeling I think the closest feeling I have to that is where we do our decom nights, where it's like, all
Yeah,
right,
that's an
everybody,
event.
tonight we're watching a decom. The wheel is like we are at the hands of the wheel.
Yeah, we made it special. Grab your Mega Stuff Oreos is going down tonight.
Exactly.
But you know what I'm saying, right? Like generally
Yeah, that
is not that exciting, right?
making an event of movie night where it's like we are driving to this place. We are going to pick out a movie to watch and we're going to buy some snacks so we can eat it while we watch our movie tonight at home.
And another thing, the way that I mentioned it too, like I see Blockbuster as is a recommendation page, but in the real world, you're walking through movies. And my biggest complaint for a lot of platforms, not just Netflix, is that their recommendations suck. Like YouTube recommendations, Netflix recommendations, like I think they all suck. It's not varied enough.
I don't know. I was recommended Shrek on a poll, so that's a pretty good recommendation.
Oh boy. So they all suck in my eyes. Maybe some people like it. Maybe people like watching Shrek on a
Wait, hey,
pole,
hold
whatever.
up. What if some people are getting Elbow Nudge recommended on their YouTube page?
Then that's a great recommendation.
Every platform except YouTube has great recommendations. Does terrible recommendations.
No, on YouTube, like for example, when I watch music videos or yeah, whatever kind of video channel you watch, it'll just keep on recommending you from the same channel. And the music, they'll just recommend you the same artist. I feel like it's not varied enough. And in a blockbuster, you could walk to completely different genres. It's just like another aisle over. You could walk to a different shelf. You could have something catch your eye. And that's what's the most important thing that I feel like I lost with Blockbuster.
That's a good point. We've been so focused on the algorithms. I've
Yeah.
lost the human touch.
A lot of times when I'm on Netflix or YouTube or really, I can't think of one platform that gives me good recommendation. I mean, I've had good recommendations. I have had a lot of good recommendations, but I feel like not as often as I would like. And whenever I'm on a platform I would think, man, how do I get out of this loop? I feel like I'm trapped. Like, how do I find something different? And
And
I
a
just
lot of
have to
these
type it in myself.
platforms will just recommend you either A, the most popular Netflix or, the most popular media that they currently have on their platform, B, the media that they have put the most money in, and then C, like just some movie that they got like that got really good reviews. Whereas I want the random stuff.
Yes.
Like even when I was talking to a friend about like a movie she recommended, and I just mentioned I'm a huge fan of animated movies, and she was like, "Oh, this movie's on Netflix," and I was like, "I had no idea that this movie was on Netflix, that this movie even existed, and it's an animated film and it's on Netflix, and I never would have known because Netflix doesn't advertise and recommend things like that. They recommend like of those three categories that I just said, and so it is a little sad that their recommendations kind of cripple themselves because people don't really get a glimpse of the true broadness of films that are on Netflix or, Disney Plus, Hulu, like all these other platforms.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. You'll never find those unless it's word of mouth and somebody recommends it, or you find one of those articles, or you specifically Google it, like what are some good dramas to watch on this platform, and then they give you like a list of like, oh, don't miss out on these things like that. You'll never find it
Mm-hmm.
on Netflix or Hulu or HBO on its own without specifically digging for it. But yeah, I didn't think we'd talk about the last blockbuster as much. That's why I was just throwing it out first.
It's a good topic.
It is. It is. And it's about movies. A documentary about movies.
And is that not what we are? All about
A
movies.
documentary about movies, I agree.
All about movies in general.
Yeah, yes. Yes, it's true. The only other one, I'm checking my list. I'm trying to see if I wrote down another documentary. But no, the last one I wrote, and I think you saw it too, the Don't F with Cats.
Oh yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
that was this year, right?
Ah, let me do a quick Google search.
Yeah, search it up. Search it up because I wrote it down thinking I saw it this
Nope.
year. No?
2019 it came out, but
Oh,
maybe
that
you
was a long time ago. I just saw it this year then.
I saw it this year after I spoke to you about it.
Oh, well, I'm writing down a lot of movies like that actually that didn't come out this year and I just saw it this year. But
That's a
that
good
one,
that's a
yeah, that
good
was a
true
good one.
crime documentary as well.
Yeah.
It does have some animal things in it that I had to fast forward, so if you're sensitive about what happens to animals, I don't recommend watching it. But overall, it's a very interesting case.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say about that is it is very interesting. It has it shows animal cruelty because this is what the guy they're trying to get has done. And they don't show a lot of it, but it could still be hard to watch if you're sensitive to that. But yeah, basically the main takeaway is that man, you could kind of search up anybody you want on the internet if people are willing enough to look you up, they will find you.
Don't mess with internet sleuths.
Oh yeah, and that's what the name of the documentary is all about. Don't F with cats because this guy who well, he's a murderer, but
Mm-hmm. He started with
he started with
kitty
abusing
cats.
cats. Yeah, and this just enraged the internet and they did not allow it and they started hunting him down and yeah, I'll leave it at that. It starts like that and it's very interesting. So it was like a internet witch hunt for this guy and it was very good. It was very good. But yeah, just be aware that it has some animal cruelty in it. And but that's the documentaries I've seen. Just the two this year. I felt like I've seen more, but those are the only two I wrote down.
I felt like I've seen more, but I just rewatched a lot of documentaries that I really enjoy. I always watch Fire Festival.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good
that's
one.
that's the one that always draws me back. I love Ja Rule with his "That's not fraud." I'd
Yeah.
call that false advertising.
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love it so much.
Caroline would
And
recommend Fire Festival to anybody who hasn't seen it.
I would recommend Fire Festival any day,
Yeah.
anytime.
Any
24/7.
holiday.
Any holiday, any season, watch Fire Festival
Yeah.
on Netflix, not the Hulu one. The Hulu one's kind of eh.
Is the oceans of documentaries for
It
them.
really is for me. I have a lot of media that I just like to put on repeat for comfort. And the Fire Festival is one of them.
So was that the last of the documentaries?
For me, yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, that was it for me.
All right, cool.
But
So
I'm sure we got more movies, right? I still got some more movies.
I have some more movies. I do want to I don't want to talk about my number one just yet. I want to save it. But it
Okay.
is a movie that came out
Are you
this year.
close to your number one already?
A little bit, but I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah?
say it. I don't want to say it just yet.
All right, don't say it because I got something to bring up too. But is there any other movies you still haven't mentioned?
No. I think that's it for movies that I watched that came out this year. So you want to take the floor?
Oh, I didn't even organize them by movies that came out this year. It's just
Movies you
movies I've
watched?
seen. Yeah, it's the movies I've seen this year.
Is it movies you watched for the first time this year? Is that why?
Some of them, yes. Some of them are just rewatches. Like I mentioned
Okay.
Infinity War already.
All right, hit me.
All right. We're looking back at this year, so I gotta mention The Greatest Showman. We did see The Greatest Showman again.
We did. Yeah, we did. That was the movie that, whenever you were here, you were like, yeah, that's right. We haven't, I think you said this like on a Friday night or something, and you had already been at my house for a good 7 days. And you were like, that's right. We haven't had a movie night. And I looked at you like, because I think one of the first full days you stayed, we watched The Greatest Showman.
But that's the thing. I told you that wasn't a movie for me. That was an experience.
That
was a show.
It truly was an experience. I want to paint the scene
paint the scene. Why it wasn't
the audience.
Just a movie.
Okay, so we set up a projector outside. We had it linked to my big Bluetooth stereo system, and we had like a bonfire, like a little fire pit to make s'mores, and we had this boombox on full blast. So we were outside on these comfy rocking chairs with The Greatest Showman on a projector outside. So like a drive-in experience, but you were able to just sit down and enjoy it. And that cranking up that volume all the way gave everybody the comfort level to just sing at max. And everybody, like nobody held back. Everybody was singing for every song. And it was just magical.
It was so good. Is everything I ever wanted. Is everything I ever needed.
Everything you ever want.
Yeah, as soon as I said the first line, I was like, let me throw in the second line.
Everything you ever need.
It was so fun.
Here right in front of you.
The only icing on the cake would have been like, if I had a showman hat. That's about it. But besides that.
The only icing on the cake would have been if we actually got up and danced to From Now On, because I wanted to clap. I was like, From Now On.
There could have been a lot more icing, but it was definitely a delicious cake.
Oh, yeah.
We could have showman outfits. We could have been
next
dancing.
Time.
Yeah.
We got to make this a tradition. We'll watch The Greatest Showman every time you come down, but we'll just increase the factor by one every time.
We sang our hearts out. I know I did.
Oh, I definitely did. I have recordings of my cringy voice singing the songs, but I was not going to hold back.
It was so fun. I loved it. That's the best viewing of The Greatest Showman I've ever had.
Same.
I loved it so much. And I had to bring it up because it was a great memory this year.
It was a great movie watching experience. And so I agree. Like, how could anybody not bring that up if they had it?
So, yeah, but that came out, like 2018?
Yeah.
But again, we're revisiting movies we've seen this year. That's one we saw this year. So I want to bring up another one that also didn't come out this year, but we saw again.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to dedicate a whole episode to this, but I still got to bring it up. That we saw 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, yes. Definitely on the list for films we need to cover. Definitely.
Yeah. 10 Cloverfield Lane. So I saw it first. I loved it so much the first time I saw it. Caroline didn't see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was recommending it to her, and we planned to watch it together, and we did. And I think I liked it even more when we saw it together because I got to enjoy you enjoying it. I got to enjoy just reliving watching it the first time. And I think it's just such a good movie. It was
so good. And then after we watched it, we rewinded it to a certain scene and we were like psychoanalyzing everything. We were like, wait, pause, look, zoom, enhance, look at
We
that.
were talking about the movie, letting the movie replay. Like, yeah, we were pausing and analyzing scenes, and then we also just let it run again as we were talking about it, and we basically let the whole movie run again
You know, it's
while we were
kind of
talking about it.
the unpublished episode because I think after watching that movie together, you were like, hey, we should start a podcast.
Yeah, that was the
That
one that kicked it off.
that was the one that kicked it all off.
Yeah. And I don't want to say too much about it because it is a kind of a mystery, but
We do
it's
want to do an episode on it and we can, give our whole thoughts when we do
yeah.
the episode on it. But wow. Yeah,
But
10
I'll just say
Cloverfield
if
Lane was
anybody wants to
awesome.
see it, it
It's
has
awesome.
John
Scott,
Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
yeah, our
It's a
girl.
thriller. It's a very smart movie.
Yep. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is a very smart character.
Yeah, man, I like it so much. And it's
Is
part of the Cloverfield anthology of movies. So
The
you kind of don't really know what to expect.
CACU, Cloverfield Anthology Cinematic Universe.
The CCU?
CCU? CACU?
I would just say Cloverfield Cinematic Universe.
CCU.
Yeah, the CCU. So you don't really know what to expect. And
But
I'll
it's
leave it
good.
at that.
It's good.
But I highly recommend it.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
I got a few. Let me go through some of the ones I don't have to delve into that much.
All right, rapid fire.
I'm rewatching Breaking Bad. I was rewatching Breaking Bad this year. I made it up to season 4. Great show. I'm just rewatching it because I wanted to relive it, but great show. We already went over. Did we talk about Bo Burnham? We saw Bo Burnham, right?
We talked about Bo Burnham before we started recording, but yeah,
We didn't bring it up yet.
Bo Burnham, Inside.
Oh, well, yeah. Bo Burnham's Inside.
So
All I'll
good.
say about it is that, yeah, it kind of represents what everyone has kind of been going through. You can relate to it at some level, right?
At least one song you can heavily relate to, at least.
Not even just the song, just like the theme.
I'm just
The
thinking
theme
on
of
like
the
a
whole show.
minimal level, everybody has one song that they could be like, yeah, I went through that. I relate.
Mhm. I saw 50 First Dates just because I like that movie.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen 50 First Dates?
Nope.
Whoa.
Let me do my little typey.
Well, is Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
I haven't seen it.
Whoa, you gotta watch it.
We gotta add it to the list.
Yeah. All right, let me tell you real quick, and the listeners, I'm sure they've seen it, but Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, they have a certain situation because let's see, I think it's is it in Hawaii? I don't remember. Whatever. He just meets Drew Barrymore at this diner, talks to her, they hit it off, everything's great. And then the next day when he sees her at the diner again, he's talking to her and suddenly she doesn't remember him anymore and thinks he's a creep and why is he talking to her? And then the people at the diner, because this is a local diner and they know everybody there, they tell her, look, just stay away from her. You don't want to get involved with her. Please just stop talking to her. Later you find out that she has what's it called? She has memory loss. I'm trying to decide, is it long term or short term? She can't remember anything past the day that she got into this car accident that made her cause her memory loss.
Wow.
So like, yeah, so basically if I were to decide today, like this is the last day I can remember anything, she'll remember everything before that, but nothing that's gonna happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day.
Wow.
So yeah, she's just stuck in just like this specific period in time. So 50 First Dates is Adam Sandler trying to win her over every single day. So it's a romance movie, and yeah, like he really falls for her, and he's also set up to be kind of like this playboy, and I think it is Hawaii. Well, whatever. It's like this. He works at an aquarium, and he gets like a lot of tourists that come in, and and then he gets with the women that visit. He hooks up with them, and he ditches them. Like he doesn't care about them. He's just like whatever. But once he meets Drew Barrymore, that's it. This is the one that he likes, and he wants to stick with. So Yeah, he spends every day trying to win her over again, and I think it's a really good romance movie.
I need to see it. I'm in.
It's good.
We
It's good.
gotta see it and then we'll cover it.
Yeah. What else? Oh, I saw Ip Man 4 this year.
Ip Man.
Ip Man 4.
That's IP for everybody who is not, because at first I thought it was It Man, like IT, but
Oh
Ip
yeah, Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Yeah,
Ip
and I don't
Man.
know if it came out this year, but it's the year that I saw it, and I'm big into the Ip Man movies.
Ip Man see you.
We've been recommending it to you and Davey for a long time, Carl and
Yes, you
I.
have. And that was a missed opportunity to have y'all over and we didn't see it.
This connects to what we were talking about because this movie has great fighting. No cutaways, no hiding,
I want to see it
no
so
none of that.
bad.
It just has great fighting. Like they show you everything. It's very satisfying, and it has a good story too. It has a good story all throughout.
It's
And
Donnie Yen, right?
Donnie Yen, our boy Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Yeah,
It's on
so
Netflix too. I need to catch it.
I think all of them are on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh,
So I recommend all those movies.
I gotta watch.
I could just throw out Air Force One. That was a revisit that I wanted to watch.
I love Air Force One.
Get off my plane. I saw Signs, just to revisit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was this year.
I don't think they like water.
Yeah. Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. I think that this came out this year. It's with Michael B. Jordan. And you remember this? Me and Carl told you about this?
Yes, I do remember y'all speaking about it.
Yeah, it was, a pretty good action movie. And I like Michael B. Jordan. And it's part of the Tom Clancy verse. I'm going to say a little spoiler because it's kind of exciting.
Okay.
So anybody who doesn't want to know about this movie and is invested in Tom Clancy's story, mute for 5 seconds right now.
So
They're starting the Rainbow Six. Yeah, I remember telling you that. But yeah, we'll see if they go through with that or not. It was pretty exciting in that sense. Another movie I have on here, I don't know if you've seen it, but I know it came out this year, The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that was the Amazon Prime Day 1 release.
The Amazon Prime Chris Pratt action flick.
Yeah. That movie I liked. That one was another one that surprised me where I thought it was really cool. I was excited when I was done watching it, and then I go online and people are like, lame. That was dumb. I'm like, oh man, what? What? And it's such a cool premise too, that Earth has lost a war against these aliens in the future. So they use a time machine to bring soldiers from the present, so our time, to the future to help fight.
Wow.
Yeah, it is so cool. And
it's so cool.
I'm into time travel, so I guess that's why I'm kind of biased towards it.
It's so cool.
That's exactly how I sounded, right? And it's Chris Pratt. So
he's so cool. He's so cool. I gotta check.
I'm just thinking.
He's so cool. He's so cool.
He's so cool. I guess that's all you could say. Oh, that's the last thing I was going to say. The aliens look very creepy and very detailed.
They're so cool.
And they're so cool.
I gotta watch that one because I think my dad would really like that film.
You should probably look at a picture of the aliens and decide if you could sit through watching them.
What's it called?
Because it might be a little scary. The Tomorrow War.
Let's see. Because he's watched Alien. Like he saw Alien. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. He's fine.
I was talking about you.
Ah!
If you could watch it.
I'll be fine.
If you could handle that. Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. I think.
Okay.
If I get nightmares, I'm blaming you.
But they look a little creepy.
I think it looks kind of cool though for an alien design. That looks pretty neat.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, watch it at your own risk. I think it's great. Internet thinks it's bad, so there you go. 50-50 chance you guys might
Another Malignant.
Oh yeah. Caroline, I gotta talk about Malignant. You mentioned it.
This Your only
Eventually.
chance, because I am not going to watch this film.
You're not
I
going to
already,
watch it, and I
I
don't
already
want you to
told
watch it.
you right off the bat, I'm not going to see it, and you really like it. So
I
here
don't
you
want you to
go.
watch it.
Here's
And
your
I wanted
window.
you to watch, like, a professional video essayer on YouTube break it
I,
down.
I will. I will.
But let me give you the opportunity. No, will you give me the opportunity of having me explain it to you in my own truncated version? And then if you want to know more about it, you can look it up on YouTube and have a professional do it.
I
But
would be honored.
I need to tell you why I like this movie and why I think it's cool. And yeah, and why people, or I guess like 50% of the people didn't like it.
Okay, hit me.
So, for those who are not in the know, and for people who haven't seen *Malignant*, this was the latest James Wan movie that did come out this year, and it came out to very mixed reception. If you check online, you'll find a lot of people who hate it and thought it was dumb, and people who thought it was brilliant. Like literally, Stephen King tweeting out, "This is brilliant. This is genius," and then other
Wow.
people saying, "Wow, this is garbage." And I'll tell you why. I can only explain from the this is brilliant side. And I guess a little bit of the why this is garbage, but so we know James Wan as the horror guy. He's made Saw, he's made Insidious, he's made what's that other one called? He's made The Conjuring, right? And he started off with Saw, but a lot of his later movies are related to like ghosts and hauntings, like haunted houses and stuff like that. So Malignant, it kind of uses that to his advantage. And for the first half of the movie, it makes you think it's a ghost movie and that there's a ghost haunting this house. And even the trailers kind of lead you to believe, like, oh, this is another James Wan ghost in a haunted house movie. But that's not what it is at all. What it turns out to be is that the woman that we follow in the movie, at her birth, she was born with, what do you call it when like another baby is born with you? Like
Like a
they weren't
Siamese twin?
they're like conjoined or something, but they were never gonna be like a fully formed baby. Like they were just, I think, like halfway there or something,
I think the
and they
term
had
is conjoined.
conjoined.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a big reveal in this movie, that it turns out that they thought they got rid of this other baby at birth. But what really happened was that in her mind, it turns out that they call him they call him Gabriel in the movie. He was like this other, because I gotta explain a little bit more. It's a little interesting in that aspect, but as a kid, and there's a girl that we follow as a kid, she would always say, "Oh, my imaginary friend Gabriel, he told me to do this, whatever." Like classic horror stuff, like, "Oh, he told me to play with the scissors in the house, or he told me to grab the knife." And they're like, "What are you talking about? No, that's wrong." And then they thought like something was wrong with her, like maybe she was hearing ghosts or something. It turns out it was like that little baby, or that little whatever life form that still had life and was talking to her because they share the same mind. And they do something. I think they go to the doctor to like get her um cleared of that. And it wasn't until her later in her adult life where she has an abusive boyfriend, almost husband, and he like slams her head against a wall, and that kind of like reactivates him pretty much. So Gabriel, at night, he takes over her body, and he has a face that protrudes out of the back of her head, and he goes on like these killing sprees or whatever. But in I forgot the girl's name, but in her mind, she sees it as like premonitions or something. She thinks like she could see a murder happening. So she's like seeing somebody get killed in like this house or in this alleyway or whatever, and then she's reporting this to the police station, saying like, "Oh, I see these things happening," and she doesn't know why. But it turns out that it's actually her. They're using her body, and he's out there doing his murders. And yeah, eventually it becomes like a weird like action movie. You could tell James Wan was using his techniques that he picked up while filming Aquaman, because I think there's like straight up like an Aquaman fight in this movie, and it just gets
Dang.
wild. But the whole reason, I could explain from the side of the people who liked it. The reason we like it is because it is non-traditional. Like he's it's like what we spoke about with Soderbergh, right?
Mm-hmm.
He took a risk. He did something new. He did something we weren't expecting. He didn't do a haunted house. He didn't do a ghost. This was like a creature in her mind that takes over her. And he used our assumptions of him and what he traditionally makes to pull a twist. But it's not even necessarily a twist. It's not revealed as a twist. It's just revealed. Well, I guess you could call it a twist. It depends how you define it. But basically, they use something that we assume in real life about this director to to yeah, to catch you off guard for the movie, and I thought that was awesome. It was really cool in that aspect.
That is really cool. It's always interesting to see a director use his own stereotypes to his advantage. And
Exactly.
I think that that's a very out of the box way to approach a film. I actually cannot think of any director who has done that off the top of my head. I would have to like do some research into that because that's a pretty cool way to view making your next flick.
Exactly. That's what I loved about it. Is like something that we knew from the real world we were taking into this movie, and it wasn't that way at all. And I loved it so much. And I'm glad when you recommended it to somebody else, they thought so as well. That it was a good movie.
I had a blind recommendation
Yeah.
from a classmate at school. He was like, "Oh, I love horror movies," and I'm like, "Well, I have a friend who just saw this, so there's that." And they were like, "Hey, that Malignant movie was really good," and I was like, "All right, 51%."
Yeah, so this is another one. This is another one where it's like watch at your own risk. I'm not going to say it's a great movie. I'm going to say that I enjoyed it very much.
Watch at your own risk if you are a scary movie fan, like Mr. Tony is here,
Yeah, yeah.
and not a weenie like me.
But let's see. There's only a few more I got on here. I want to mention Unhinged real quick because
Unhinged.
I don't know what year it came out, but it's a movie that Shay
Let's
recommended to Carl and I. Like we put it on while I was over there in Connecticut, and
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Yeah.
Okay, it came out last year.
So the quick premise is that this woman in a rush, she just cuts off Russell Crowe in a like during rush hour, and he gets really upset about it, and it escalates from there. He starts stalking her. He starts ruining her life by getting involved with people she knows, and yeah, he's a psycho, and it's crazy. And yeah, very entertaining. As soon as I got back from Connecticut and was staying in New York, I showed it to my mom and my stepfather. They thought it was crazy and awesome, and he even told me the next day, like, "Man, I was thinking about that movie still last night. It got me." He's like, "It got me a little messed up. Like, you don't want to cut off anybody anymore, or like get anyone road rage of what because of what's possible that people could do." So yeah, that was interesting for that reason. And this I want to talk about a little bit because we saw this. We both saw this, and I don't know. Well, actually, since you didn't bring it up, I don't think it came out this year, or I don't know, but Invincible.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Did it come out this year?
I don't think it did, but I'm gonna check just in case.
Yeah,
I
do a double
cannot
check on
believe
that.
I forgot Invincible. It did come out this
All
year.
right,
Oh
so
my gosh.
Invincible, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love Invincible.
Now, I want to let you explain it, but I just want to quickly say that I thought it was a great show, and I'm not typically into anything animated or cartoons anymore. So when
Anymore.
I'm,
Thanks.
ever since I've grown up,
Thanks.
like when I was a kid, a little baby, easily entertained, I liked it. But now, no, it's not that exaggerated. It's just I just typically don't watch it. So I'm just saying, with all that in mind, Invincible
was very enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to season 2. But yeah, do you want to give a little summary? Because I want to recommend this to people, and
I
I think you should
I
tell them a little bit of what it's about.
Oh my God. I have all of this like rush of emotions coming back now for Invincible. It is a show on Amazon Video, Prime Video, and it is based off of a comic book, but loosely. I mean, like if you were to look at the plot points of what happened in the comic, it very loosely adapts it. Like I think there's some stuff that follows along the same vein, but it's not a play-by-play adaptation. So you don't have to worry about if you're like a comic book fan who's already read the comic, you're like, oh, I know what happens. No, no, no. This show takes its own approach to it. It's a very smart approach. We've got an all-star cast here. We got Steve Yeun. We've got what's his name? J.K. Simmons playing the dad. There is just so much going on here, but it is a superhero show, an animated superhero show that kind of plays off of this superhero trope of like the dad is supposed to be kind of based off Superman, but what if Superman came from this like domineering, conquering alien species? And then he lands on Earth and he meets a girl and they fall in, I'm using air quotes, love. And they have a kid named, it's Mark, right? I'm remembering correctly.
I think it's Mark.
And they have this kid, Mark, who is the hero Invincible. And he is a little late in discovering his powers because his dad is always telling him like, oh, you'll get your powers soon. You're half this. I can't remember the species that they are, but it's like, it's like being half Krypton, but he's like, oh, you're half this. So, you'll definitely get your powers. You're going to age slower than everybody else and, yada, yada. But, and at first Mark is like a freshman or whatever, or no, he's a senior in high school. And he's like, oh, I don't have my powers. And like, this is just kind of episode 1-ish. But then at the end of the episode, he gets his powers and he's like all happy. He's going through his like Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire woohoo phase where he's like, yeah, and he's flying everywhere and he's all happy and excited. And his like suddenly the demeanor of his dad just changes where it's like, okay, I guess like the way that the show says it is like his programming kicks in now that another one of his species has arrived because technically now Mark has awakened that half of that alien species, and it just goes into this aspect of like the duality of having a hero from outer space and from this world. And I don't want to give the huge spoiler away because I really want people to check out this show, but it's really well done. It treats its viewers like intelligent people. It allows you to come to your own conclusions. It's a show not tell show, so it's not going to like be in your face about certain aspects. They want you to follow along with the story the way the characters are following along with the story. It handles its female characters very well. It is just an overall very well handled show. I greatly enjoyed it and I was heavily like, what's the word, engaged over each episode. And yeah, I am so looking forward to season 2 because wow, that was a good show. The music also that was used in the show is just the music is awesome. I love the music.
Multiple songs on my playlist.
Yeah, it's so good.
I also wanted to say we got to mention that it also has gore. So if anybody's not into that, it is animated gore, but it's still gore. But I will say that is not over the top and unnecessary. I think they use it only when the situation calls for it.
Yeah, I kind of hold back from calling it gore. I just call it really intense action because it is kind of got like a John Wick style to it because it'll show you action just up front about it. And but it is animated, so that does create a little bit of a separation. But yeah, like there were some parts where I closed my eyes where I was like, ooh.
I think while I was watching it, I was thinking, man, I think it was kind of necessary to show this in a weird way. Because normally I think gore is always excessive and you don't have to show it.
I agree.
But they were showing it and it really emphasized like how powerful these threats are and how serious the fight was and
The
things like
thing
that.
is that like it wasn't unnecessary. It wasn't like there was every episode had this really intense fighting and things like that. It when it did happen, at least for me, it was a shock because the show overall is like it starts off with this like teenager who's just learning how to juggle like the everyday struggles of a superhero kid with going to high school and girls and all of that. And then when it would cut to like the dad side or when it cut to like Mark and he was learning about the true repercussions of being a superhero and he was like, oh, like he had to face the reality of humans being attacked by aliens and like these massacres that he has to help prevent and things like that. It shows it not in a sense of like being in your face and just being this excessive fighting, but it was necessary because it awakened. We felt Mark when Mark was being like, and he was seeing the brutality of aliens like coming in and invading Earth and why superheroes are needed, like why he has to save people and what these aliens are doing as like killing humans and things like that. And so it works to elevate the emotional weight of the story. It's not just there to be like bleh.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly how I saw it. But just a heads up for anybody not cool with that.
Yeah.
But that's the first time that I remember thinking, man, I get why this is in here. And it really did help, again, to show how brutal these fights are, how much he struggled with certain fights and certain threats. And yeah, I think it was kind of important to show that. But again, I just want to emphasize what you said. I think the writing is very smart. I loved a lot of the storylines that we followed throughout the show or season 1. And a lot of the characters are great. Like really cool characters. And
It's
like you
so
said, I like
good.
that it didn't hold my hand. I like that it treated me like a smart person who could follow the story. So really cool. And I love a lot of the voice actors.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was
Oh
a
yeah.
surprise show for me. A recommendation from Caroline. So yeah, I loved it. It was really good. So I don't know if are you just holding on to your very last one? Because I could just mention a few more things and you could give me your movie of the year.
I am holding on to my very last one. I do want to mention that like one of the movies that's number 3 on my top list. So just to give everybody a little update on the rankings, number 5 was Jungle Cruise. Number 4 is This Is a Robbery. No Time to Die is number 2. So number 3 is a movie I saw for the first time this year, and we covered it on the podcast, and we covered it extensively. So if you want to hear my thoughts about it, it's there, and it is A Bronx Tale.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, so that's my number 3 for the year. It was a recommendation from Carl for us in the podcast, and I enjoyed that movie so much. I still catch myself making comparisons to it and quoting it and just overall remembering a lot of the stuff from the movie. I think we quote like Tony Tupe and like his shadow killed the dog. Like we quote that so often. It's
I
just
can
such
only
an
imagine if you've seen Goodfellas. Yeah, these are how those movies go down. But yeah, I agree.
It was so good. I so enjoyed that movie. But yeah, that's number 3 for me.
I didn't rank them. I didn't pick a favorite, but yeah, I like your list so far, and I agree with the Bronx Tale. So you mentioned these earlier, but the whole HBO lineup, that was coming out day and date, like Mortal Kombat, Godzilla versus Kong, Space Jam. For those, I just wanted to quickly say, Mortal Kombat better than I expected. Thought it was good.
Yep.
Godzilla versus Kong, they delivered on what we wanted to see, just big monsters fighting. So I thought it was good. Also, I'm Team Kong.
Oh, I'm Team Godzilla.
I know. But I gotta represent Kong because if I don't, who will?
A lot of people were repping the Kong.
But it's more Godzilla. Come on, he's way cooler.
He is so cool.
Fire out of his mouth.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he has big spiky scales on him.
He's so cool.
And Space Jam: A New Legacy. That's another one that I thought. This is good. I think people just don't like LeBron. It's good though.
It's good. My only complaint is that it didn't have good music.
I was fine with that. Yeah, I know the first one has memorable standout music. But
Tony, if there's one thing I have asserted myself in this podcast is that I am a music woman. I love good music in movies. The movie could be terrible, but if it has good music, that's a redeeming quality for me. This movie was
I
a
can't
good
agree with
movie,
that,
but it had terrible music. How can you top, even though R. Kelly is not a good person at all, but you could, and okay, it's kind of impossible to top I Believe I Can Fly, but you could at least bring in something with that same inspiring vein. Get Charlie Puth to do his
Oh my gosh.
magic from See You Again from Fast and
Yeah.
Furious.
Yeah.
Get something like that. Get something inspiring for Space Jam, especially if you're dealing with a father-son relationship. Like, come on. That's the bread and butter of family movies. And they don't even have a song to go with it. That's my huge complaint about that film.
I just want to bring it up because I think it's not an amazing film, but I don't want to say that it's a bad film. And
Yeah,
people
it's
calling
not
it a bad
bad.
film, I think for multiple reasons, like, it's a newer film, so they're going to be more pessimistic about it.
Yeah.
They're going to see it as just like a marketing tool and all of this. But I think LeBron was acting just as well as Michael Jordan was.
He did a pretty good job. I would say he was a better actor than Michael Jordan was an actor in the original Space Jam.
I didn't get to see the original before. No, I saw the original. I'm just saying I didn't get to see it before watching this one.
We were about to have to pause recording, make you watch Space Jam 1.
No, I saw it, but I didn't get to see it soon enough to compare them. I just saw it when it came out, pretty much.
I saw Space Jam, A New Legacy, is that what this is called? I saw Space Jam 2, and then after watching it, Dave and I immediately put on Space Jam 1. We were like, all right, let's put it on.
I like the story of this Space Jam a lot. I like that they did get to visit all the other Warner Brothers properties. I thought that was really cool.
I like it too. I think it's an overall good 6 out of 10 film. Could have been a 7 if they had good music.
Yeah, so I think people trashing it, they're just trashing it because for their own personal reasons. I think is
LeBron is such a character, like online and everything.
Yeah, and also just like, since there's a modern take on it, since it's supposed to be kind of like a reboot or whatever you want to call it of a classic that people loved, it's already an uphill battle, but I think it was good. Also, I wanted to mention, since we're still in the season, I saw Jingle All the Way very recently. I saw Jingle All the Way, and I had to see it with
Turbo Man.
Ta-ta, Turtle Man. I had to see it again recently because I remember thinking, I know I like this movie, but does it hold up? Because I haven't seen it in a while. And
does it hold up?
I think it holds up.
Oh, yeah, it does. One of the best Christmas movies.
I haven't seen it in years, but it's so memorable. I didn't have to see it in all those years because I can remember so many scenes. But I don't remember... I don't remember, scenes like that. How cartoony and over the top it is.
It's
and
so
that's
good.
What makes it
with Sinbad.
Yeah, it makes it so great. Like, just the way Arnold is like hamming it up, like all of his faces and all his smiles and laughing. Yeah. No, he's like, put that cookie down. Yelling on the payphone. It's hilarious. Sinbad is killing it.
We always quote the scene with the little boy where he's like, "Where's your mom?" He's like, "She's outside petting Ted."
What?
Oh, I love that movie so much.
And it's so fast paced too. That's what I noticed.
Oh yeah.
From beginning, like it starts off with a Turbo Man and the Mentor, and Buster's there too. And the Mentor, they're like fighting on, these are supposed to be the real quote unquote actors or whatever doing the Turbo Man show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts from there, like with a huge action scene, and it doesn't stop at all. Like the pace keeps going all the way into the cafe scene where they're just, they're drinking coffee. They've been looking for a Turbo Man the whole day.
That's the only moment that the movie really breathes is when they're having coffee.
That's how I felt. It's just like boom, boom, next. And then, it slows down a little bit and then it picks up again. They're running to the radio station, like it's taking off. And I think the finale is awesome to dress him up as Turbo Man.
Yes, he really knows my name.
It is really good. And everybody, and not just Sinbad and Arnold, like
everyone at these stores, like everyone is hamming it up, like
every
hardcore.
actor understood the assignment. They went all out, and it's beautiful.
There, he was like, yes, I'm looking for a Turbo Man. He's like, guys, he's looking for Turbo Man. And then just like the way the cameras in their faces, like, it was awesome. It was awesome. Even better than I remembered it, and I already love this movie, so
it's
really good.
It's tradition in my house to watch it every year. Like, we own it physically and digitally. It's such a classic.
Now, did you know? This is probably going to surprise you because I didn't know until this year that it had an end credit scene.
What?
Oh, you didn't know either?
What?
Yeah, it has an end credit scene.
All right, everybody. This was a great episode. Thank you all for a great year. I'll be back. I have to go watch this movie now.
Yeah.
It has an end credit scene?
It has an end credit scene that I saw for the first time this year.
What? Well, now I have to watch it. Looks like I'm not watching Encanto today. Looks like I'm watching Jingle All the Way.
It's more like a little joke. It's not like a big, it leads to a part 2 or anything, even though there is a part 2. But
we won't talk about that one.
I don't want to talk about that one. But it's cute. It's more like a cute little thing at the end of the movie where they're finally together for Christmas. They did their whole thing. And then the wife is saying, wow, so if you went through all that trouble to get Jamie his Turbo Man present, then that makes me think, what did you get me? And then Arnold looks at the camera. He's like, like a big shocked face and zooms in.
That guy better run to K.
Yeah. So it was cute. It was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta watch it to completion.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, that's a classic. Now I feel like watching it. I still want to see Encanto though.
Oh, you gotta see it, and then
I gotta.
Let me know. But I think that pretty much rounds up what I had. I also wrote on here Middle Ditch and Shorts because that was like an improv show that was on Netflix.
Oh yeah. That's that Upright Citizens Brigade humor you love so much.
Yeah, I love improv. I've been really liking it a lot as of probably since last year. I've been listening to podcasts on it and seeing shows and all these stuff. And
every time we talk about improv, I have the strongest urge to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I was watching Whose Line too. It's still really good.
I love Whose Line. The old Whose Line, not the current. I love the old classic Whose Line.
Aisha Tyler? It's still good because they still have the old guys.
I haven't watched it. That's the thing. I haven't watched it, but comfort for me is going to that old Whose Line Is It Anyway humor with Drew Carey. He just adds, he fits that whole dynamic. But I haven't seen the new one, so I haven't I don't have any negative opinions on it.
It's the same thing. It's just Aisha is hosting, and I think she's good too.
Okay. And I need to catch it.
Yeah, the guys still got it. They're still sharp.
I love them.
Wayne, Colin, and Ryan, and then they still bring in a guest. And I just saw an episode with Keegan Michael Key, and they had.
Hey,
I don't know when it aired, but this is the new one.
I wonder where that streams and where I can.
HBO Max. I know they have the older episodes. Yeah.
All right, everybody. It's been a great episode. I'm going to go watch Whose Line Is It Anyway?
So for anybody who likes improv, Middle Ditch and Shorts, I thought was hilarious. When I saw it, that's on Netflix.
All right, cool.
And it's just straight up just them, just long form improv. I thought it was so funny. I had to show Rob, one of my friends, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes that kind of humor. I know improv isn't for everybody, but I just think it's incredible. I give them so much credit when they could think of these things off the top of their head and just be funny and quick-witted. And Ben Schwartz, that's your boy Sonic. So so there you go. If you guys want to see Schwartz. It's on there.
I need to catch it. I like some improv stuff. So, and I've been looking for a what's the term? Comedy kind of thing to watch. I was trying to browse the stand-up comics on Netflix, and I was like, all right. I saw the new Gabriel Iglesias one. That one was pretty good.
Let me watch it with you. Just the first episode, Middle Ditch and Schwartz, if you ever want to watch it.
Yeah.
You have 3 episodes. Each one is an hour long. And I think the first one is just hilarious. So if you don't like the first one, then you're not going to like the rest. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we need to plan a day to see it.
Yeah. So the last trickles of movies that I have, and I'm definitely not gonna get into this because we're gonna talk about it. We saw Pirates of the Caribbean this year.
Yes.
We saw it this year. I've never seen
Yes.
it. Caroline has seen it, but
Yes.
that's
Yes.
just something I want to put out there. We did see it.
I did. I had the 10 Cloverfield Lane experience with Pirates with you because
Yeah.
I saw it when they first came out in theaters, and I was able to experience you experiencing it for the first time and enjoying it and loving it. And wow. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll finish that up and we'll do an episode on that.
We are going to do an episode dedicated to the Pirates movies.
And then, of course, the last movie I'll mention that I did watch this year because I like it a lot. And it's going to come full circle. I saw School of Rock. So we'll just leave it at that.
To be determined.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So that's it.
Okay.
What do you got, Caroline?
Are you ready for my number one movie this year?
Yeah. What's the number one movie this
year? I have
rewatched
this movie a grand total of about 8 times. I really dig it. I enjoy it. I know you haven't seen it, but it is the film Luca by Pixar.
Wow, I'm surprised.
That's my number one film this year. Luca is, for those who have not seen it, it is the story about an Italian little boy who is a sea monster. And he's like a straight up creature from the Black Lagoon. He's not a merboy. He is a straight up creature from the Black Lagoon sea monster. And he lives under the sea, like deep, deep down into the water, at the seafloor. And he like helps his mom. He lives with his parents and his grandmother, and he has this like longing. He's like a little shepherd boy too, because they have like these little fishes that they herd around. They like take them out to feed, and then he brings them back, and he's got this little like shepherd's hook. So it's like an old Italian type of film. And he has this like longing curiosity to go up to the surface, but his mom always tells him like, no, you can't go to the surface.
Very Little Mermaid.
Yeah. So his mom is always telling him like, you can't go to the surface because, you know, the humans up there won't understand and they'll try to kill you and eat you, or, you know, etc. So he's a very good boy. That's the thing that I love about Luca. He has such good manners. The movie starts off with him like taking the sheep out to the field, and as he's passing by anybody, he'll be like, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Like super polite, adorable little boy. And then he meets Alberto, and Alberto is this also sea monster little boy who is on the surface, and he shows him like this little hideout that he has on the surface. He has like this little fort that he made, and they become best friends and they spend the whole day together. But Luca has to go home. He has like to go back home, but Alberto is like, oh, well, I'm just going to stay and chill here. And it's like, well, where's your dad? Like, where are your parents? And he goes like, well, my dad said he'll be back. And he like, my dad just leaves me to my like myself because he knows that I'm like strong enough and smart enough. And Luca is like, wow, that's great. Well, Luca's mom finds out that he has been going to the surface and hanging out with this little boy, and she gets very worried for him. So she tells him like, you know what, you're going to go to the deep ocean with your uncle. And he's like, I don't want to go to the deep ocean. I want to like stay here and like continue playing with my best friend. So he runs away, and Alberto and him are like, you know what, let's run away to the human village. And I guess like wrench it wet, they turn into their sea monster. And whenever they get to the surface and they're completely dry, they turn into human boys, like human children. And whenever they get wet, they turn back into their sea monster. And then they meet this little girl, and this little girl quickly becomes like their third musketeer, named Julia. And she is just this spitfire, outgoing little girl who is like giving them a place to stay because she lives there with her dad. And while they're there, those three just become utter best friends. They get into all the shenanigans together. And it's just a movie about growing up and friendship. And also like it has a really deep kind of message, because I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but just at the end of the film, it's a kind of about how friends will always be best friends, even if they're far away from each other, even if they're not physically in the same place, they'll still be friends. And that could be like, to me, that was just such a good message overall for a lot of kids, especially for kids that have like, I think also with this movie coming out like at the peak of the pandemic, because this came out pretty early this year when there was still kind of lockdowns going on and things like that. And so kids really felt it with not being able to see their best friends all the time. And this movie has that kind of theme to it where, you know, when you're together, you have these great times. But then like when it comes to a point, you're going to have to separate and you're going to have to go back to like, quote, the real world, I guess. But you're still best friends. You can still stay in contact with each other and your friendship goes on, even though you're not physically together. And it's just an overall genuinely cute movie. It's got such great themes of friendship. It's Pixar, so it's going to tug at your heartstrings. It's beautiful in its art and its music. And it was my number one movie this year. I absolutely adore it.
I'm going to check it out because, you know, before watching it, I was kind of judging it the same way that I did with Onward. When Onward was coming out, I was thinking, this is a Pixar movie? It looks like a knockoff wannabe Pixar animated studio making this. And honestly, my first impression with Luca was the same thing. I thought, this is a Pixar movie? This doesn't seem like Pixar. It just seems like a throwaway cash grab kind of movie. But then now Onward is like competing to be my number one because it made me cry so much. So
it's such a beautiful film. Onward.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna think about Luca that same way. I know not to count it out.
Do not underestimate Pixar.
I saw little bits and pieces because my nephew has seen it a couple times, so it was on TV when I was over at my sister's house. So I didn't get the chance to really know what the plot is or anything of what it's about. But yeah, I'll check it out. It's a relatable theme. So
it's so good. Yeah, definitely a relatable theme. I caught myself thinking that when I was giving the description, but
yeah, I'm like, are you just describing us?
Tony, we're best friends, right?
Yeah.
Well, this movie has a lot of that. It's really good. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to count it out, but I did want to put forward my initial thoughts, my first judgments.
That's a movie I definitely
get proved wrong.
I definitely want to see it with you. But if you get the chance to watch it with your like niece and nephew and things like that, watch it with them because it's definitely a movie to enjoy with kids.
Okay. Right after the My Little Pony show.
Right after you show your niece my MLP.
Okay. Oh, you know what? You just reminded me too. This is another thing just because talking about my nephew. I saw a lot of Gravity Falls this year.
Ooh, Gravity Falls.
Yeah. And I really like it. Like I would keep on watching it on my own, but I want to share that with my nephew. I've seen every episode with him and we're up to season 2, episode 4 or 5. So I'm going to finish it with him. But yeah, I'm so impressed. That's a show where I just think, all right, I'm glad he's watching this. This is a show I want him to see.
It's so good. I think I've only seen season 1, and my friend Josh has seen much more of it than I have. But
it only has 2 seasons from what I
think I know I think he finished it, but I greatly enjoy the show. It's so good. Gravity Falls. I love Mabel. She is so cute.
Mabel's my favorite.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
Dipper, like sometimes when I watch it, I think of like how I think when I was younger, I was the Dipper of Davy and I, like just in that sibling dynamic, I was Dipper. But now that we're older, I am definitely Mabel and Davy is Dipper.
He's a level-headed one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the one that can rant about Shrek 2 for 3 hours, and he's the one that's like, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
He's the one that can rant about Gundam. What was that
he's
show
the one that can he's the one that can spoil the Matrix for me and not have any regrets
after you said that you haven't seen it. Oh, I forgot to write that down. We saw the Matrix too.
We did. We saw The Matrix. We have not seen.
Not Resurrections.
Not Resurrections, and I have not seen 2 and 3. We saw
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
I had originally seen The Matrix many years ago, and I thought it was dumb. But after rewatching it, I dig it. I'm digging it.
Now he's so cool.
He's so cool.
Sunglasses, a duster, coats.
I know kung fu.
Yeah,
like
it's really
all
good.
of that.
We're planning on seeing The Matrix Resurrections pretty soon as well. I'll see when. Probably this weekend.
I feel like I need to watch 2 and 3 before I watch Resurrection, so it's going to be some time. I have a lot of movies in my backlog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got to see... I know, I'm going to see Encanto. I see Spider-Man in like 2 days, and then I'm going to see like Sing 2 in about 3 or 4 days, hopefully.
Yeah. I got to see Sing 1.
Yeah, you do. Sing 1 is good.
Can you think, because now since we made it to the end of this, can you think of any movies that you're looking forward to next year off the top of your head?
Oh, wow.
Let's look forward now. A little bit.
I'm trying to think. Thor, Love and Thunder? And no. I think what tops it is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, for me, it's Sam Raimi. Let's see what you got, man. Bring your stuff to the MCU.
Multiverse of Madness is definitely on my list. Sonic 2 is one that I'm really looking forward to.
Idris Elba, let's see what you got, man.
Yes, I'm a huge Sonic fan. I love Sonic. So I'm all in for Sonic 2. There's another one. There's like a Disney one or Pixar. It looks kind of...
Lightyear?
No. I mean, I am looking forward to Lightyear, but not as much. There's this movie that I think it's just for people like me. I don't think you would enjoy it as much because it's kind of for kids, but it's called Turning Red, and it's by Pixar.
Never heard of it.
And yeah. The trailer, very I think the teaser trailer came out a couple of weeks ago, but I am looking forward to that. I love Pixar. I will watch anything Pixar day one. So Turning Red is about a little girl who turns into a panda, but it's cute. And I don't know the rest of the story because the trailer just barely came out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to
black and white.
No, she's turning into those red pandas. You know, those cute little red pandas.
From where?
I'll have to show you a picture of it later. But she turns into a red panda. A red panda is like, they look more fox-like than they do panda-like, but they're called red pandas.
I can't even picture what that's like.
Oh, let me send you a photo. But okay. I'm also looking forward to the Mario movie.
I was gonna say that's my most anticipated movie. They didn't say it. Did they say it's coming out next year?
I think it is coming out next year. I'm looking at like a list right now of like 2022 in films, and it just has the year 2022.
That's my most anticipated movie. I can't wait to see how that comes out.
It's so cool.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Keegan-Michael Key. That's a fox. That's not a panda.
It's a red panda. That's a red panda.
So that's what they call foxes?
It's red pandas? It's a red panda. A fox is different.
Can you upload a picture of a fox and tell me corporate wants to know the difference between these two pictures?
All right, Tony. Are you ready for this? Corporate wants to know the difference between these two pictures.
It's the same picture.
No, it's not. That's a red panda and that's a fox.
Caroline, that's a nickname.
Tony,
that's a fox and that's a fox.
Tony, that's a red panda.
It's the same size. Even the panda's even smaller. And the picture that you sent, is that a baby red panda?
No, that's a fox.
Is that a full adult red panda?
I'm gonna show you a size comparison between the two. I found an image. Here I am getting all National Geographic on you. Like, and now you'll see the difference between a red fox and a red panda.
Red fox, red panda.
You see how small they are?
Yeah.
Little red panda.
But, so they do admit it's part of the fox family.
Yeah, I think it is part of the fox family. That, like, questionable canine feline.
How do they allow a raccoon in this?
I think that they're part of that family, too.
Trash panda. Red fox, gray fox, trash panda, red panda.
Is that worse?
Oh, it's so much worse. All right, I'll allow Red Panda, but
But yeah,
it looks just like a fox.
the movie Turning Red by Pixar. I'm looking forward to it. It's a different art style than I think Pixar is used to. They're kind of playing up that you see what Luca looks like, right? Like, the art style of Luca.
Yeah, like rounded teeth, a little bit like smoother edges and stuff like that.
So, little fun fact for you animation nerds out there, that style is actually adapted from Hayao Miyazaki's style from that he uses for Studio Ghibli films. And it's a hand-drawn 3D animation, which, of course, Pixar is just hopping right on it. So it's a combination of hand-drawn, stop motion, and 3D. And it looks absolutely gorgeous in Luca. And Turning Red looks a little more comedy focused, but it's also like about friendship and about girl friendship specifically. And so it just looks like an overall cute movie using that same kind of animation. And I'm looking forward to seeing it because I'm all up in that business of animated movies about friendship.
I didn't know this movie existed until just now, so maybe I could still be convinced.
I'll
If
rope
I
you into
see-
watching it.
If I
I'll
see
be
a
like,
poster or trailer, maybe I'll watch it.
I have a feeling you won't watch it, but I'll still make you see it.
I probably won't watch it. I'm gonna be watching Lightyear.
I'm going to make you see it. I do want to see Lightyear, though. That looks
Chris
pretty cool.
Evans.
He does look like a Chris Evans version of
Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear, but still cool.
it does look awesome. I think it's gonna be good.
Oh, I completely forgot. Like, my
What,
number
you thought of
one,
something?
I completely forgot my number one movie that I'm looking forward to next year. And I
What's
just
that?
remembered it right in time. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
That's my number one.
Yeah.
I am in love with Into the Spider-Verse. I love that movie. So many songs from that soundtrack are on my everyday playlist. I love the animation style. I love the story. And just part two, the trailer already, bam. And then it's got Oscar Isaac in it. Icing on the cake.
He's Spider-Man 2099.
Yep.
It's gonna be good.
It's going to be so good.
This guy's on a roll.
I'm also looking forward to Disenchanted. So for if anybody out there has watched the movie Enchanted, this is the sequel to it. It's called Disenchanted. I'm looking forward to that as well.
So, Caroline, this is the end.
This is the end, friend, for this year. 2021 was a good year.
I think so.
It was a good year, even though we're still in December.
A lot happened. A lot happened this year.
A lot of cool stuff happened this year.
You have anything you want to say? Doesn't even have to be movie related. Just parting words or final message or anything.
Yeah, to anybody listening, I know this year had its ups and downs, but it's always good to focus on the positives. Always remember your achievements. Your losses or your downfalls may hold you down in your mind only. But remember, a lot of good things happened this year, and keep focused on the positives. And 2022, we're calling it. It's going to be a good year, and it's always what you make of it. So, go out there, try things. Even if you think you'll be a failure, you never know what'll happen until you try. Even like this podcast, I always thought like, oh, well, if I start it, who will listen? Who will do that? Blah, blah, blah. But, once we dove in and we started doing it, it's so much fun. It's a good experience. And it's something that you at least know that you tried. So whether it be for yourself, a podcast, or picking up a new hobby, or getting better at a hobby, it's always good to just dive headfirst into trying it.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. Please, if anybody has a New Year's resolution of trying a new skill or just improving your life or trying out a new hobby or whatever, stick to it. Stick to it. Don't be discouraged. There are going to be hard days where you don't want to do it anymore. But if you're consistent and if you enjoy the failures and keep going, then you're going to enjoy it as you start getting better. And I think everyone should stick to it. If anybody else is out there thinking that they want to do a podcast or YouTube channel, or if they want to learn an instrument or a new language or start a workout routine or a new diet, I think you could do it. Don't be hard on yourself. Try it every day. And
it's not about the failures. It's about sticking to it.
Yeah. And let's do this together. I'm doing something I'm a little scared of myself, but I'm going to stick to it.
Hopefully we'll be I'll be speaking a little more Spanish, but this time next year. But
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll do the Spanish version of elbow nudge.
Bilingual elbow
Yeah.
nudge.
Yeah.
You'll have to be my practice partner. Let me know if I'm
Oh,
sounding
of
like a
course.
fool.
Of course. That's what we're here for. So, yeah, everyone, thanks for listening this far. If you have, I hope all of you have a very nice new year.
I forgot to say my thing at the top of the show yet again.
What's that?
For those listening,
Oh, here we go.
for those listening, be sure to give a like, a subscribe, hit the bell icon if you're on YouTube. If you're hearing us on your preferred streaming platform like Spotify, Amazon, Pocket Cast, whatever, be sure to give us a follow. And thank you so much for your feedback. We're on Instagram if you want to send us a DM for a recommendation. And thank you so much for listening. It's been a joy getting comments and responses and numerous feedback from listeners like you.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered to bring that up because I do want to take a little bit more time to thank the people listening because, this is new for us and we've been having a lot of fun talking about movies and sharing our memories and things like that. So everyone who has been listening and following and everything, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And please, going into next year, I'll be paying more attention to the comments and the emails and all that because I love getting recommendations. Caroline relays the recommendations to me, and we're
I'm
gonna
like
do them all.
I'm the social media manager. I got a funnel.
Exactly.
I gotta make sure Tony only sees the good stuff.
But I'm gonna make sure to hobble on some of those platforms and keep an eye out because I want to hear them. I want to hear them. So if you guys have any more ideas or recommendations or just your own opinions and comments on movies and things we've spoken about, let us know because I like hearing that stuff. And yeah, hopefully to all of us, we have a good next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, thanks for listening.
Have a happy new year, everyone.
Have a happy new year. And
Happy new you.
we'll talk to you soon.